Hi everyone, Slippery Slope here. Welcome to Java tutorial number 5. With this one we're going to go over conventional naming, and by that I don't mean like a Star Trek convention, though I've always fantasized about going to one of those with Spock ears on and trying not to be emotional, but it would be just so fun and I'd start laughing and it would be cool. By conventional naming, what I mean is just naming your classes, naming your methods, naming your variables. Hey, wait a minute, variables? We didn't go over those yet. Oh, we'll go over them soon, so don't worry about it. In fact, I'm going to go over these things again briefly in future tutorials. So if you absolutely want to, you can skip over this one. This one is optional, but it's just a good background, and personally I find it helpful to go over this stuff in advance before we actually start the rigorous coding. Anyway, if you watched my previous tutorials in which I talked about identifiers or program-defined names, those are stuff that you define yourself. I guess programmer-defined names kind of gave that one away, in contrast to keywords that are built into the program. And if you guys ever heard of the Java API, you could always research that, and it'll go over all sorts of methods and stuff and cool things that you'll want to know in order to do programming like a pro. But now I'm getting ahead of myself just by saying that. But an identifier, yes, is a programmer-defined name. And you can choose your own variable names, you can choose your own class names, and we chose our own class name last time. Without any further ado, when making an identifier, the first character of the identifier should be a letter A through Z, uppercase or lowercase, an underscore, or a dollar sign. Now, I know, yes, legally you can get away with the dollar sign, but you still don't want to do that because that's reserved for special purposes that we won't talk about this time. But because this is a class name, even though you could get away with that legally, what you want to do with a class is capitalize the first letter of the first word, and then with each additional word, you want to capitalize the first letter. So notice how the M in Mr. Dumble, Mr. Dumble, is capitalized, and the first letter in the second word is also capitalized. So there you go. That's pretty cool. And yeah, after the first character, you can use A through Z, uppercase or lowercase, the digits 0 through 9, dollar signs, and the underscore, which is that. Oh no, we have an error. You know why? Because you don't want to do that in a class name. Yeah. Uppercase and lowercase letters are distinct. That means that if I was to type, oh, I don't know, which I can't do, again, because this is a class, that would not be the same as that. Why? Because Java is case sensitive. And what that means is whether they're uppercase or lowercase, it does matter, it does make a difference. Those are not the same identifier. Capitalized Mr. Dumble and lowercase Mr. Dumble are not the same thing. Important thing to keep in mind, because I was talking with a recruiter once and he asked me if Java is case sensitive or not, and I said it's sensitive, and I think he thought like that I said insensitive. So yeah, if the recruiter asks you if Java is case sensitive, case meaning uppercase or lowercase, The answer is sensitive, and it's sensitive might get you in trouble because they might think that you said insensitive, and that would be insensitive, so let's not do that. Anyway, going back to our rules for class names, like that. There we go. Now let's type up a method, much like we did last time, public static void main. Again, you don't have to type it up this way. This is just more for our purposes, so yes. And for every bracket, of course, we need to enclose. So the main method is enclosed within those, and the class is enclosed within those. Yes, yes, yes. And how about we try naming some variables here? Int? What the heck is that? Well, that's short for integer, and we'll go over that very shortly. In fact, in the next tutorial, we're going to go over different forms of variables, but without getting things too complicated here. That's just the type of the variable, which is an integer. And then let's just name our variable alf pog, because alf is now back in pog form, according to some internet meme. And let's set that equal to 5. You get a little warning here because we're not using it. The variable, the local variable alf pog is not used. Don't worry about that. It's cool. It's not wrong necessarily, but it's just a little warning saying, hey, you declared this and you're not using it for anything. What gives, man? So yeah, there's our variable. And yeah, let's capitalize pog. Perfectly legal, no errors. With variables and with methods, you want to start off with the lowercase letter for the first word, and then you want to capitalize any additional letters. So with our main method here, the whole thing is lowercase because there's really no need for it. So that's why this tutorial is called Naming Conventions, and not, say, things that you can do but shouldn't do, because, I mean, although you legally can get away with it, you could also get your butt fired. So let's just go over a few examples, and then we will call it a tutorial. Let's try a 3-word one. The Beatles rock. That is legal, because even though there's a 0 there, we're allowed to use a number. Now, is that something you want to do? No. But it's legal. You can get away with it. But don't do that. You really don't want to do that. Let's try something else. Integer. Let's just stick with integer because we're not learning about different variable types at the moment. 4-way. I don't really know what that even means, but let's just call it 4-way. Like as in, instead of, okay, I just thought I was saying dirty. I'm not going to say that out loud. But a 4-way, yeah, that's not legal. Why? Because it starts with a digit, and it can't start with a digit. So there we go. Let's try August 2013. That should be a pretty cool month. That is legal. We throw in digits after the first letter, in fact, after the first word, and there's no second word, so there's like nothing to capitalize or whatever, so let's not worry about that. And corny number 17. Notice that as soon as I put put in the pound sign, the thing gave me an error. Well, yeah, there's a reason for that. That's not legal. How about integer the day before tomorrow is different than the day after today? That's not legal because we have a bunch of spaces, and that's just like, so our integer would be called like the or something, but we have all these words here, like the program's just like, why do you have all these words for your variable the? Why did you just type in a bunch of letters after the fact? So we just make our name the, and wow, it's allowed to exist. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's how you want to name your classes, your methods. There you go. Our class. We have class. We're classy people. Our methods and our variables. There you go. There you go. Then we wouldn't have a true main method, so yeah, that wouldn't be good. We won't want to keep it that way, but legally that's a legal name. And error. Yeah. Error. See? You get rid of the dollar sign, it doesn't make a difference. Anyway, now I'm just going on and on. So, class names, method names, variable names. If you didn't pick it all up, feel free to watch the video again, and this is an optional video to begin with, so if you didn't pick something up, don't worry about it. Slippery signing out. Peace.